1, 2, 3, 2. Welcome to An Otherwise Quiet Room. I'm Mandy Connell, and we're a web series featuring singer-songwriters swapping songs and stories in social spaces. In the Moreland sessions, we feature businesses and small social spaces and different singer-songwriters for 11 episodes. In every episode, I learn one of their songs, they learn one of mine, and we cover another independent songwriter. An Otherwise Quiet Room takes the Moreland sessions to True North, a cafe on Munro Street just off Sydney Road. Our guest for this episode is Van Walker, who teaches me a song by Scottish singer-songwriter Jackie Levon called Porton. Van teaches me his song Crystal Ball and also learns my song Riots in Redfern. We had a lot of fun. Please enjoy.
I come from Porton, where the river Levon runs. The mills have gone now, the reservoirs glint in the sun. And I left Porton to live in sorrow on the road. My younger brother died from taking heroin. My mother takes pills to help her with the grieving. In empty churches and in the valleys in the rain. Now people see me having trouble with the drain. Old friends from childhood, I feel my courage slowly sink. My mind is gone now, and there's less and less to think. And I see young boys staring into burnout cars. In chimes of anger, the children stand outside the bar. The men ignore them and leave them to their empty wall. I come from Porton, where the river Levon runs. The mills have gone now, the reservoir's gleam in the sun. And I left Porton to live in sorrow on the road. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What made you choose the songs that you brought?
Well, the Porton by Porton or whatever it's called by Jackie Levon. Mm-hmm. That was a song that I've just loved forever, and I had just been listening to it a lot.
I've just listened to the tracks that you sent me so far, so I haven't really done any digging. But how did you come across him?
I'm not sure where I first heard of him. I think I heard of his name because he plays a lot. So he used to play a lot of festivals.
Oh, right.
And I heard his voice, and he's just this incredible musician. And you do a little bit of a digging, and you find out that he was this very handsome young Scottish man in a punk band called Dole by Dole.
How have I never heard of it?
In the late 70s. And apparently they were sort of, they had sort of a, they weren't kind of 3-chord band. They were kind of more of a, they had like a bit of a influence of these sort of big ballads.
Yeah.
But it was more of a dark kind of electric 4-piece. And then apparently they used to scare all these other punk bands. So nobody really knows about them.
Wow.
They got kicked off all these tours with...
Well, even this album is called Fairy Tales for Hard Men, the album that this song Porton is on.
Yeah. He ended up getting... he was recording an album in London and he got strangled at an ATM.
No.
And he couldn't sing for 2 years.
Wow.
And he sort of had this huge sort of comeback where he sort of got his stuff back together. But he's a big dude. But yeah, so a lot of these songs are about that kind of Glaswegian hard man sort of thing, and why men feel the need to have to get into that kind of a role.
Wow.
But yeah, really beautiful singer.
I think we've chosen lots of pretty dark songs for this episode, definitely. I mean, my song is about poorer communities, Indigenous communities in Sydney, and it's about someone that I knew who was moving around to follow his children as they moved. So did he, and it's about the riots, and there's crime, and there's lots of kind of dark imagery. They washed off the blood from the footpath on Monday. But the black here in Sydney won't just wash away. The man in the suit wants to bulldoze it all. But what about us? We still live here today. Mum says it's been a long time since she smiled at him. Not since he brought the computer home. She sits at the keyboard for hours and hours to finish her course and build a life of her own. Riots in Redfern, call Daddy home again. How long will you stay for this time? Mum says you're working in Melbourne to save up the money to build us all some kind of life. We've always been here, cleaned up every few years. The police here are always on high alert. We have always been angry, but now we are fighting. The anger is rising and the last child's been hurt. But he dreams of the truck that he'll buy in a little while. Move furniture, maybe he can be with his child. Can anyone live well in Redfern, in Sydney? Can a black man live here and provide? Riots in Redfern, cold Daddy home again. How long will you stay for this time? Mum says you're working in Melbourne to save up the money to build us all some kind of riots in Redfern, call Daddy home again. How long will you stay for this time? Mum says you're working in Melbourne to save up the money to build us all some kind of life.
Done this before.
Can you not do that when I do it? Because it's flaming and it's
Just trying to jam, man.
All right. So, Brett.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Thank you for having us in your amazing cafe.
It's my pleasure.
Obviously, you've put in a lot of work. I mean, the place is really beautiful, but
Thank
the
you.
food is good, the coffee is amazing, and the staff are all friendly. You and Nadia must be the drivers of that.
We try really hard to have people around us we like. That obviously are competent and do a good job and all of those things, but we don't. At the start, we were making next to no money, and we were here all day, every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we need to surround ourselves by people we want to be with every day. So that's kind of stuck. Even though we're not here 7 days a week anymore, myself and Nadia, we still want good folks.
I think it's a really important thing to do to encourage a place of, I guess, comfort, safety, and fun. And the running theme so far has been that all of the venues, we went to New Futures down the road.
Casper is a champion.
Casper Zika, yeah.
A lot of time for him.
Total champion. And Vic Seger obviously doing great work with the community.
Yep.
And then we also went to the Moroccan Delicacy down on Lygon Street. And Hannah Asafiri is just incredible to listen to. Yep. But I think the common thread has been that all of the places, and especially here, are comfortable places to be in. And you've clearly made a lot of, you've put a lot of work into the environment.
Thank you. It's not a conscious thing. I don't think it started as a conscious, I mean, aesthetically, yes. But in terms of vibe, I don't think it was conscious at the start. It was more necessity. Like survival, when you're working that hard on one thing 7 days a week. It's like, I just want good people because otherwise I'm going to lose the plot.
Well, that's what makes me choose a cafe or a venue or a stage is knowing that when I get there I'm going to feel comfortable, I'm going to have a good time.
You can choose a stage based upon that?
You can, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. I don't get a lot of work and I don't make a lot of money. But I definitely don't play in leagues, clubs with TVs over the top of me.
Yeah, of course.
And if the bartenders are really disinterested in me, then I kind of don't go back, because if I get there and the bartender's like, who are you? Then why would I be playing there?
It must be so difficult to do what you do without, I mean, I've only ever really done it with a lot of volume behind me.
Yeah.
So I can't hear like people just getting about their chatter and, you know, it's got to be tough.
Because, of course, you're referencing touring with the band.
Yeah, I still do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I've always had walls of amps behind me to, like, a bit of a security blanket.
It really is. I did play with the band for a while, and that was exciting.
Yeah.
I had full drums and double bass and 2 fiddles, and that was really fun and completely reassuring. So if anything stuffs up, you just look at the fiddle player and grin, and it's okay. So it is difficult, but this series has been a fun thing to do because I'm putting music into social spaces that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And it's just 3 songs at a time and a bit of chat. But I think for me, folk music and acoustic music is really conducive to that. I mean, it started in cafes.
Absolutely. You can put that stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
My song's like about a dream, which is a very dangerous topic to go for. But it's it's not about an actual dream, but it's actually sort of a.
It's hard to write.
It's trying to describe the imagery of a dream.
Yeah, I heard there was a 774 special on a writer recently, and they were just talking about how dangerous it is. You're allowed to have one ghost story or one dreamscape, they reckon, in your story. You're only allowed to have one go at it in the whole plot. Otherwise, they say you can swamp it. But I love I feel like screens are shattering, and for me, the images coruscate, and I move to another one in my head with every different verse, which is great.
Yeah. Last night as I laid down to sleep, an image of you rose up to the surface. And as I passed beyond the gate of dreams, the revelry had gleamed my hidden purpose. To leave behind this veil of tears and the bad years that I had stopped believing. Sincere motivation fights these lonely nights of fear and bitter feeling. Oh, for I have smelt the truth in lies. Oh, and I have seen the raven tonight. I rippled like the rider's cape, the canoe's wake, the glass that breaks and shatters, and explodes into butterflies before your eyes and tears this veil to tatters. And stars that cluster in the sky like many eyes that cry and cannot forget. The lonely fox, the clutch of eggs, the rope of onions are hanging around your neck. Oh, and I have fanned these flames of fire. Oh, and I have seen the raven in flight. But standing here we burn daylight, the morning bright black plumes of smoke rings fading. And the archer on the mossy stone, animals' bones, three naked witches bathing. And passing on the bridge of sighs, I memorized that moment that I met you. But an eagle does not hawk at flies. All members die and still I can't forget you. Oh, and I can't speak your name tonight. Oh, and I have seen the raven in flight. So light a candle for the one who flies on inky wings like a black diamond, and open up another vein. It's all the same, just drink up and keep smiling. For all your dreams so bittersweet, nothing's quite as unreal as the morning. wake and find you're still alive, but something in your memory is calling. Oh, and I have smelt the truth in lies. Oh, and I must bid this raven goodbye. I think the reason people are so bored by the people's dreams is there's no context.
No.
So it's very meaningful for the person, but it's very meaningless for everyone else.
Yeah.
But
Well, I take my own meaning. I love playing it. So
Yeah.
thanks very much for teaching it to me and for coming
thank
on
you
to
so much for playing it.
an otherwise quiet room at True North in Coburg.
My pleasure, thank you. And I see young boys staring into burnout cars. In chimes of anger, the children stand outside the bar.